Kids are spending a lot of time now on YouTube and seeing different things happening, and they're very inspired to be a part of the community of something. You're finding that with technology, kids are wanting to be content creators beyond just music, and video games is one of those elements.
This is where it all begins, so say goodbye to all your fears, all your doubts. This is where they die. This is where we come to win, we come to fly. This is where we make our dreams come to life. Welcome to Innovation City.
Welcome to Innovation City, a podcast featuring the innovators, disruptors, and creators who are making things happen today. My name is Michael T. Johnson, and I'm here with Tyler Kelly. We are at Venture Cafe St. Louis tonight. So Venture Cafe is the largest gathering of entrepreneurs, creatives, anywhere in the world. If you're anywhere near a Venture Cafe, you're going to want to check it out. So tonight, we're very excited because we have Robin Rath with us. So Robin, thank you for being with us.
Yeah, great to be with you, Michael. Tyler, good to see you.
Yeah, I'm excited. So Robin is the CEO and co-founder of Pixel Press, which is a company that's building the next generation of creation tools for kids to create, share, and play game-based content by leveraging the integrated power of toys and video games. You're also recognized by the Business Journal 2015 Upstart 100, Bar Association Inventor of the Year, SLU's 2017 Center for Entrepreneurship Entrepreneur of the Year, and the list just goes on and on and on. Yeah.
Fun stuff. Thanks for reminding me.
Welcome.
Yeah, those were good times. Yeah, great to be here. We love being here in St. Louis and being a part of your guys' program. So thanks for the invite.
Yeah, totally. So tell us about Pixel Press.
Yeah, so Pixel Press was founded by myself and three of our other co-founders in 2013. So we're right up on 5 years, which is exciting. We actually started our company on a Kickstarter campaign.
Okay.
So the two of myself and our other co-founder had an idea around something that we did as a kid, which was basically drawing video game ideas on paper. So we used to play Super Mario Brothers and Mario Kart, and we always kind of dreamed of making our own games, and we used to sketch out ideas on paper. And I was working with some awesome technology for a company that I was working for here in St. Louis, and we kind of came up with this idea of what if you could take that drawing and take a picture of it and turn it instantly into something, a game, and really kind of take that process of having to learn code and graphics and whatnot, and really just get people more inspired to be able to create something simple and bring it to life quicker. So that idea spawned into a video that we made about this technology that could basically use optical character recognition, which is a similar technology to what you might use to scan a check into your bank account and convert a drawing into a game instantly. And we created a Kickstarter campaign. A lot of people got really excited about the concept. We raised $110,000 in June of 2013, and that allowed us to start our company and bring our first technology to market, which was released in 2014 around drawing your own video game. And over time, we had a lot of kids and even teachers really excited about this simple technology for bringing ideas to life through the storytelling power of video games. And in 2016, we released what now is our marquee product, which is Bloxels, which is a similar technology, but rather than paper and pencil, it uses colored blocks. You might kind of think about creating a character or a video game layout in Lite-Brite and taking a picture of it, and those colors mean different things like ground and coins. You can also do pixel art, and through this physical toy in the camera on a tablet or a phone, you can instantly create your own video game and share it. And one of the key things about that is, in addition to making the game, you're able to tell a story within that game. So we have story blocks in the game. And now we're finding that teachers and students are using this tool to tell stories about what they're learning in classroom. So rather than write a book report or maybe create a poster board with marker and a poster board story, you can do a video game. And that's really helping kids get into STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, which is a really important thing for kids to be exposed to at a young age. So Bloxels is enabling that to happen.
It's amazing. I know that at my son's school, they use Bloxels. I've seen them use it throughout different grade levels, and that's actually the first time that I had heard of you guys was seen what they were doing at school.
Great.
when I visited
How
one
old
day.
is he?
So he will be in second grade.
Okay. Yeah. So we really target elementary schools. Actually, 2nd to 5th is our sweet spot.
Yeah.
And probably what he's doing is they're learning about, say, Abraham Lincoln, and he's making a game about the life of Abraham Lincoln and doing it through a STEM tool, which is great for a teacher, like a history teacher, to be able to bring that those two things together in a classroom.
Yeah. Another great thing I've heard about what you're doing is, I think we had a guest on the show one time that was talking about getting into video games and what's the best starting point to be a game designer, and they said Bloxels is a really good starting point for children if they want to
Sure.
learn the concept. So
Sure. Yeah. Kids are spending a lot of time now on YouTube and seeing different things happening, and they're very inspired to be a part of the community of something. Just like when we were kids, it was kind of like watching videos on MTV and wanting to be a rock star. You're finding that with technology, kids are wanting to be content creators beyond just music, and video games is one of those elements. Yeah.
Wow. So if I'm talking to my wife, she's like, no video games, right?
Yeah,
So there's this
yeah.
entire like point of view.
We have a
So
we
how
have a
does-
similar perspective in
okay.
my household.
So
I've
tell
got
me about this.
2 younger kids, and so we hear that from teachers too. There's a big push for technology. Screens can be addicting. They can be isolating, especially in a classroom or even at home. What our product does is half the experience is physical. It's on the table in front of you, which opens the product and the experience to collaboration and content creation. By no means are we against video games. That's the output of our product. But by being able to interact with something and work collaboratively, we find it is a very different experience. We also don't build our business model isn't built around like in-app purchases and addictive type behaviors. So we formulate our business model a little bit differently than, say, the typical Candy Crushes of the world.
Yeah. So how you mentioned the importance of children being exposed to STEM early on.
Sure. Yeah.
So tell me about that and why it's important and how it helps develop their minds.
Yeah. So STEM again stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's an acronym. Sometimes you hear STEAM, which throws art in there. But the idea here is bringing experiences into the classroom that represent future job growth. So 7 out of the 10 top paying jobs in the U.S. are represented through the STEM career field. So really just the idea of getting kids exposed to these things at a young age and allowing them to pursue those opportunities it's experiencing a big push, whether it be at home or in the school. The challenge often is that that's typically led with code. So it's like, hey, let's teach kids to learn how to write code. Well, it's really more than that, and our product focuses less on the coding side and more on the amalgamation of all of these things together, and allows like a history teacher or a Spanish teacher or a science teacher to bring this into the classroom without having to teach code, essentially.
it's almost like there's a storytelling element to what you're doing. You're not teaching them just how to code. You're teaching them like this. It's exactly what you just said.
Sure. It's the storytelling piece is the output. Yeah. And of course there's a lot of things, and eventually we want them to learn how to write code or learn how to use Photoshop to tell even a better story. But getting them exposed to tools that are more age appropriate is where we focus. Yeah.
So you mentioned YouTube earlier. I know my oldest too, and they're YouTube fanatics, right?
Yep.
And the stuff they watch is just insane.
Yeah.
I would never, but hey, that's where the kids are, right?
Yeah, so, whether it be a product being opened or watching somebody play Zelda instead of actually playing Zelda, it's interesting to see what they're watching. Yeah.
So note to the listeners, YouTube's going to be around for a very long time.
I think
it's
got its foothold pretty solid, yeah.
But
got the
do you guys have a YouTube page? Like
we do,
that
yeah.
output?
We do. We have a series on YouTube where we hired a team to create content for us, and they've got a great piece. We do our own promotional videos. We sometimes feature content that are created by other kids. So YouTube is an amazing platform for reaching folks, just like Facebook and Twitter are. All those things kind of work together nicely too.
Are you seeing like kids just like putting the output of their creations onto their channels?
We do see a lot of that.
That's cool.
And it's great to see kids, doing not just the screen part, but also the physical part as well. Yeah.
So where did the idea for Bloxels come from? Was there like an aha moment, or how did that happen?
So the original idea was around what I had mentioned with us drawing video games as kids, dreaming about bringing that to life, and wanting to find a quicker way for that to happen. Bloxels specifically was the result of a lot of kids saying, I want to create my own characters, which is kind of part of that storytelling piece, and us wanting a really simple tool for them to bring color into the experience, which varied from our paper and a graphite pencil option. And then also we wanted to allow younger kids. So we even have, pre-K, first graders, kindergartners using our product with the right guidance. And those colored blocks, like fitting into a board, helps with kinesthetic learning, which is also really important to kind of connect your thought process to your motor skills and do those things in tandem. So there's some things for younger kids that really help them develop spatial learning, not just, some of those more STEM type components.
So now, obviously, like the products you put out are great, but I'm curious. I'd like to shift gears too from the product itself. But tell me about the process, like taking it to market, like the entrepreneurial part of it.
Definitely. So learned a lot along the way. I went to school for communication technology. I have a communication technology degree, so it was kind of about using technology to communicate, tell stories. So that's a big part of what I focus on personally is I'm inspired by helping people communicate, and especially kids now that I have them. But the process along the way was definitely not rooted in an MBA that I had or anything like that. I've kind of learned along the way, and I've had a ton of good advisors. We've raised money, which is an experience, and how to manage that. We have a team of 15 people now, all of us focusing on one thing, and trying to avoid how to shift our focus and what markets to go after. We know we've served the consumer market and the educational market for a long time, and now we're focusing on one market, and our messaging is getting more consistent. So that's been a good experience kind of sorting through those things. But in general, we're just learning every day and learning new things. And we have a great community here in St. Louis, whether it be for financing or advice or marketing, whatever it is, to kind of help us grow. So that's constantly evolving.
Looking back, what has been one of your biggest challenges?
Probably really focusing and understanding what that even means. There's so much impact in your business that can have an impact, or the focus can have an impact. So down to like the text that you use within your app, or the text you use on your website, or how you pitch a product. Whenever you're trying to explore what that market is, sometimes that changes, and we've really been able to, over the last year or so, kind of fine tune that, and that's been really helpful to us. Yeah.
Evolving,
constantly
side.
evolving, but just understanding your market and what that means and how that impacts everything about your business. I guess it's kind of like talking about taking a startup from that early stage to, you've got product market fit or market traction, and once you kind of hit that point, then you have to take a little bit different mindset. You almost have to become a little less innovative within the culture of your company, because you've got to get everyone thinking about one thing rather than that middle stage of your startup where you're like, we gotta throw everything against the wall and see what sticks.
That's good advice. Yeah.
We've kind of talked about that with multiple entrepreneurs, and we've seen that kind of in our own business, that seems to be the pattern. Everybody starts really broad. They want to do everything.
Sure.
And then once they find that niche, they narrow down, and usually that helps. If they pick the right one, that's usually what makes them successful.
We've been talking a lot in the company just to keep ourselves on track about transitioning from a technology or an R&D company into a sales company. So now we're actually building or leveraging tools and APIs with a focus on sales rather than a focus on the features, functions, and benefits of the product. And we need to be, if you think about, if you're planning, your sprints, if you're, working on 2 week cycles or 4 week cycles, you've got to have this balance between product improvements and sales cycle improvements and how you communicate. So that's a big challenge for a company to make that transition, and it's exciting at the same time because you start talking about different metrics and things like that. Yeah.
So your audience is education. I mean, that's your market.
That's correct. Yeah. So we've done really well over the last couple of years with our product, specifically to early adopters, so those teachers who are looking for the products, and also more prone to actually using these type of products. And now we're focusing more on how do we reach a broader audience? How do we reach those folks that we know we have the features that want to serve, but might not necessarily be looking for them? And that's where we're focusing our scale on, is getting a simple product, but to a broader audience within that market.
Interesting. Are you going direct to teachers, or are you like going top down, or?
So we've been bottom up for the most part to date. So we attend a lot of events and hit those teachers who are those tech directors for schools that are out there looking for the product. Now we're actually leveraging those relationships to reach a broader audience, whether it be in their current school or their peers. And then we're doing more to develop sales and marketing materials that focus on how can this product help a larger swath of your school rather than just the tech classroom, that type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So from your journey as an entrepreneur, what advice do you have for somebody who may be starting? They've got an idea. Like, what advice do you have for them?
Well, you're talking about going all the way back to an idea,
or anywhere that you think is relevant.
I think that you've constantly got to fine tune your story as the founder of the idea, but maintaining a consistent message to everyone you talk to, whether it's a potential employee, an investor, and really just know what your mission is at the time and be consistent. It can evolve over time, but it is sometimes challenging as the founder of a company or co-founder of the company to have all these ideas and kind of check yourself and say, not talk too far ahead. There's pitches you might make and say, you might start going off on a tangent talking about some other market opportunity, and that can be exciting to you. But if the person walks away being like, there's a lot of ideas here, which one are you focusing on? That can come across, you can miss the message you're looking for. So my advice would be have a lot of ideas, but make sure you focus at least on a quarterly basis on one of those things. Yeah.
What's coming up for you that you're excited about?
Well, we're launching Bloxels EDU, which is our first product built specifically for the educational market, actually for this school year. So for all the parents out there, they know that school is rolling around in a couple of weeks, and there's a lot of teachers out there excited about launching Bloxels for the first time in their classroom, or for those teachers who have been using it, leveraging Bloxels EDU, which is really exciting for us because it's the first time we're building an app specifically for the classroom with the supporting administrative side, which will allow teachers to monitor students' progress more efficiently and really look into the entire process of creating with our product rather than just the output, which means that they can look at how the child brainstormed to get to where they are rather than just looking at the game itself. So that's exciting to be launching that. It's based on a lot of feedback we received directly from teachers. So our customers are very happy about that as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So before we get out of here, we should probably just see the Bloxel, right?
Oh yeah, I can pull it out. So yeah, I was talking about a demo. It's a little tough to show you guys specifically without a pretty crazy camera setup. But the long and short of it is that each student has a game board and array of blocks. These are actually glued in for my demo purposes.
Gotcha.
But in the case of you're building a game layout, it's kind of based on Super Mario Brothers. So we have water, fire, ground, the character can jump, and you essentially just take a picture of this and it's instantly turned into a game, so you're playing instantly, and you're also able to create characters. So if you kind of squint your eyes here, you're going to see a frog generally through this. This is actually just one of the blocks within this experience. So you're able to do the art and the layout of the game, which is the core pieces of telling a story, and then through the app itself, you're able to add story to that and dialogue to that.
That's awesome.
That's cool. So let's say your company is wildly successful. Mm-hmm. What's the impact that you hope to have at the end of the day?
Well, as I mentioned, I'm passionate about communication and leveraging technology through communication. I believe that we're all constantly telling stories to each other, and we're all trying to get each other excited or laugh or have fun. And if a student's able to refine their storytelling skills through technology because they're using our product, then I think we're having a very positive impact on the world.
That's awesome. So how can people get in touch, educators specifically?
Yeah,
How can
definitely.
they get in touch with and get their hands on the product, get a demo, all that good stuff?
A quick search on Google for Bloxels will return a lot of things. You can follow us at Bloxels Builder on Twitter, and you can check out our website, bloxelsbuilder.com online.
Awesome.
This has been awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
For more episodes, visit innovationcity.co. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review. And if you're in St. Louis, visit us on a Thursday night. Details at vincafstl.org. And connect with us on social at We Are Slam or at Venture Cafe STL. Thanks for listening.
This is where it all begins, so say